I'll try to keep this fairly brief since I guess in Argentina people aren't really used to all the speeches, but in Holland it's a tradition that just gives everyone a chance to get to know the bride and the groom. Especially since many of you, this is really the first time that I'm meeting you. So I'm delighted to be here in Buenos Aires, beautiful country, beautiful family. And definitely want to thank everyone for coming. A lot of my friends, for both Jay and I, who've come from very far away. I speak on behalf of both of us that it really does mean a lot to us that you're here to celebrate our wedding with us. So thank you very much. Now, before it's going to be a lot of thank yous. So, a couple people that I definitely do want to mention. First of all, Jennifer's grandmother, Mrs. Lillian Kerr. Our honorary guest. I'm so happy that now I have a grandmother, and very delighted to see you again. I know it was a couple of years ago. And Janie and I definitely do plan to come back to BA more often, which will also give me a chance to hopefully get to know some of you a little bit better as well. I'd also like to thank my uncle and aunt, Philip, and my aunt Mary Ellen. They are my only extended family that were able to come here all the way from New York. So I'm very glad to see you here as well. It really means a lot. As well as my good friends from my parents, Chris and Sjoukje, who came all the way from Indonesia, other side of the world. So now, Bill and Margaret, my new parents-in-law. I had the pleasure of meeting them already quite some years ago, which was always very interesting, and luckily, if I say so myself, we hit it off right away. I think the very first night that I met Bill, I spilled half a bottle of wine all over him. Very good way to make a good introduction, but luckily we got over that. So I'm very happy that went well. Margaret, or Margie as I like to call you, I want to thank you for everything that you've done with the wedding. I know you did a lot of planning. And at some point, she actually thought that I thought she wasn't doing a lot. So at first, I didn't hear anything about the wedding. I was busy at work, and then all of a sudden, I get one email. I get another email. They're all in Spanish. So it's all the correspondence with everyone here at the wedding, just to show me that she was actually doing a lot. And I know that you've done a fantastic job, so thank you so much. Now, Bill, the same thing. When I asked your daughter's hand in marriage already almost a year ago, I really got the best response that any guy could get, and that was "Welcome to the family." And I think that really is fully shows the way that your family has embraced me as a son-in-law, and it really means the world to me. So thank you so much. My new brother, Frankie, and sister-in-laws, all the girls over there. I also want to thank you for organizing a lot of things, and also just want to share with everyone how I've known them for the last couple of years as well. And you guys truly do seem like true brothers and sisters to me, not just brothers-in-law or sisters-in-law. We fought, we've laughed, some of you have cried, but I think that's all part of a true relationship, within family members. So I look forward to sharing many more memories with you. This is where we get to my best men, or what used to be my best men, maybe. Joost? Where's Joost? Joost, I'm glad that you embraced the Taylor family and that you made that connection. If I have to make a bet on which wedding we might get invited to next, I would put it on Joe, so thank you for that. Lawrence, as Lawrence said, we really kicked it off together in university. We haven't known each other that long, but it has been a lot of fun. We went backpacking together in South America, and I think that was really the introduction for me to this continent, the friendly people, the beautiful country, and probably also when I realized that marrying someone from South America is probably not such a bad thing. So thank you to Lawrence. Now my brother and sister, very nice speech. You know, you talked about the ping pong. The one part that you forgot to mention, Jochen, is that I kept on failing until I started kicking your butt. And that's when all of a sudden the whole test disappeared. Huh? Yeah, but I'm just emphasizing it, so it's all good. Yeah. Novelle, my beautiful sister, caring and loving sister. It's been such a wonderful time growing up together and spending all that time with each other and with the rest of my family. And so nice that you put together the video. A lot of my family and friends weren't able to make it. So what she did was she basically went by a lot of people and took video messages and showed it to Janie and I a couple days ago, so thank you very much for that as well. Now my parents, I have to thank you as well. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. If it wasn't for all your support, your love, your care, I wouldn't be the person that I am today. And you know, you guys have really shown me what a good marriage is all about. So I really appreciate that, and hopefully Janie and I will be able to have such a wonderful life together as you guys have had with each other. So thank you very much. Final words here. Last but not least, my beautiful bride, Jenny. I'm so happy that this day has finally come. Some of you spent some time with me yesterday, and I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit nervous about, not about marrying Jenny, but just the whole happening, everyone being here. You know, you can't really put yourself in that position until you're actually there. But the one thing that I kept on thinking about is just how lucky I am to have such a wonderful person to share the rest of my life with. I love you with all my heart, and you mean the world to me, and I look forward to sharing many, many more years with you, and I love you very much. Love you guys. Thank you very much.
Well, this is the final obstacle to the dance. And Frankie.
Bill, this is a long speech. We're not doing this. We're not doing the long speech. We're not doing the long speech. We're not doing it.
Well, you have a way to go still to be the alpha male in this family. He keeps challenging. He'll get there someday when I really can't walk anymore. So, I will do it now the Argentine way and do a little bit of a roundabout analogy. In his essay, A Shower of Gossamer, William Henry Hudson, the English and Argentine author known here as Guillermo Enrique Hudson, talks about the tiny gossamer spiders of the River Plate, which around this time of the year ride their cobwebs on the river's breezes and accumulate in various places into a thin fabric that covers everything. As I look around this room, I see in my mind's eye the gossamer cobwebs that link each and every one of us here. The material of real gossamer cobwebs is thin and fragile. The material of real gossamer cobwebs is thin and fragile, but incredibly, it is the strongest natural fiber in existence. If we were somehow able to weave it into a cable, it would have a higher load-bearing capacity than most synthetic fibers. The gossamer strands that bind us all together tonight are made up of love, heritage, friendship, biography, tradition, and DNA. And now strengthened by email, MSN, SMS, Facebook, Twitter, and Skype. Over time, these cobwebs strengthen or dissipate. Tonight, Jenny and Fridge are tying together two very extensive worldwide cobwebs, which they are destined to reinforce as they move around the world and develop their partnership, which we all hope will soon be blessed by their children. As we all know, it is the couple that determines the strength of the knot that ties the two family cobwebs together. The knot gets tighter when somebody like Jenny's little nephew, Willie Taylor, comes around, which in his case binds Jenny to the Basque Italian Iturriaga family cobweb in tables 20 and 22. If you think of it from Willie's point of view, Jenny and Maria are equivalent, the same thing as our Fridge and Pablo Carabas. Then you do some time travel and climb Jenny's cobweb back in time 185 years, and you see a little girl being conceived during an act of love on a stormy night on the high seas on a sailing ship bringing Scottish farmers to Buenos Aires. Mary Young was the first native Argentine born to that immigrant group who founded St. Andrew's Scots School, where she was one of the first students. Mary Young and John Cleland's cobweb of 10,000 descendants in Argentina extends not only to all the Taylors present, but also down to the Rays in table 11 and the Phillipses in table 6 and 14, which were laterally linked together again when Margaret Slater became my beautiful bride almost 40 years ago. The Slater cobweb in Argentina started to be knit over 100 years ago when John Slater and Clara Sanders left Croydon, England, and decided to come with their 10 children to make a new life in the land which was and continues to be the land of the future. As the Slaters were on the high seas, now a steamship, on the other side of the world, a 17-year-old Royal Marine was in Peking in the defense of the foreign legations there, wondering how the pitifully small contingent of surviving legation guards could come out of an attack by tens of thousands of infuriated Chinese attackers. Bill Taylor was one of 11 British survivors and later came to Argentina, staying with his sister, Alice Taylor de Ryberg, whose descendants are on table 22. So trace these centennial cobwebs back to Jennifer Jean Taylor Slater, who marries Fridge tonight. The Taylor cobweb is increasingly worldwide, and with the exception of my sisters Annie and Vivian, their husbands Jackson, Danielle, and my brother Georgie's wife Mercedes at table 14, my generation of first cousins is outside Argentina. The next generation is all over the place. It is present at the head table and at tables 2 and 4. Missing tonight are Romina Taylor, her husband and children in Singapore, and Mariana, who is with her family in Lake Tahoe. Lorena arrived yesterday from Bucharest, and with my sister Annie and her small son. So only 6 of 14 cousins remain in Argentina, but I thank God that 12 of them are present tonight. It's a strong cobweb. No one knows where Jenny and Fridge will be living a year from now. But we know that their cobwebs will be diligently tended and remain strong. The cobwebs with the Humbert Roberts family with various generations in tables 22, 11, and 3 are various and go back 50 years. Longtime friends, their cobwebs joined ours when Alan Roberts married Yvonne Slater. Similarly, when Deborah Curd married Richard Bryanbrink and brought more Dutchmen into the family, all sorts of cobwebs combined, and the interconnections are reflected in tables 9, 18, 19, with duplicate cobwebs with my St. Andrews Scott School buddies in tables 9 and 11. The cobwebs uniting the St. Andrews class of 1961 are fantastic, and we refresh them every year in a tradition that extends back over 50 years. I would like to have invited all 75 of the regulars to Fridges and Jenny's wedding. It is probably the strongest alumni cobweb in the 170-year existence of the school, and I love being a part of it. It is one of the joys of my life. It is funny how some classes build cobwebs and others don't. Despite Natalie's very short stay in St. Andrews, her class is strongly represented at table 16. This is huge value. Other classes dissipate, so one must nourish and value these cobwebs of friendship and loyalty, and nourish them when they arise and try to keep them through thick and thin. I hope tonight Chris and Shout Smith, who traveled from Jakarta to Amsterdam to Lima to Buenos Aires to be with Peter and Caroline at the wedding of Jenny and Fridge, are exposed to Argentine friendship at table 11, as are Peter's brother Philip and his lovely wife Mary Ellen, here from New York to share a meal with new Argentine friends and relatives at table 9. As Caroline and Peter did, Jenny and Fridge will generate strong cobwebs of love and friendship wherever they go, as Margie and I did in Colombia, where our friends from the Asociación Argentina de Bogotá are represented in table 13. As the parents of 4 Colombian-born children, our Colombian cobweb is very strong, cobweb or connection, both as part of the Familia Gregoriana and as the former boss of the Coke business in Colombia.
Coca-Cola.
The Coke business. The cobwebs of friendship from the university have evolved remarkably in one generation. In table 12 are 4 fellow chemical engineers and their family. These are friends for life who helped me work my way through college, and I renew and strengthen the cobwebs of our friendship whenever I possibly can, as tonight. However, times have changed. Contrast with Jenny and Fridges and their siblings, college and work friends in tables 8 and 10, who are here from all over the world: Holland, USA, Brazil, Chile, Venezuela, Colombia, Iran, India, Argentina, Russia. The world is truly a smaller place. And last but not least, the cobweb of Granny Lillian Robson Slater Kerr, here at the head table, no longer. Mrs. Cobweb herself. I was sad when Frank